to give you common sense, but not necessarily common practice ways that you can be more motivated. In today's episode, we're going to talk about getting out of your comfort zone and why I believe that getting out of your comfort zone is one of the fastest ways to achieve more of what you want in life. Now, from my experience, over my life, there's been a lot of times where I've stayed in my comfort zone. There's a lot of opportunities that I haven't taken. There's a lot of risks that I wished I'd done. There's some really big opportunities that I turned down for, frankly, fear. Like sometimes in life, fear comes in and it kind of kicks you in the nuts, right? Sometimes you know that there's something you want to do and your gut instinct is telling you should do it, but for some reason, something is kind of pulling you back. Well, human beings, we are kind of wired for certainty. We are wired to stay safe. Our brain neurologically is designed to keep us from hurting ourselves. If you're walking down the street and you're maybe going to fall over, your brain's designed that if you kind of sort of trip, your brain's designed to get your hands to put in front of you so that you kind of soften the fall, right? You see it even in infants, it's the same in adults. Our hands immediately go down because our brain is neurologically wired to keep us safe. Now, the problem with that, in today's day and age, the problem with that is the brain doesn't know the difference between kind of falling over and taking maybe a life-changing opportunity. And so what I want to do with you in this video is kind of share with you 3 ways that you can get out of your comfort zone, 3 strategies, that habits or tools or Miles's mind hacks, if you will, that I use to regularly get myself out of my comfort zone. But before I go into those 3 things, I want to share with you a quick story. Going back to when I was 20, so we're going back a long way, right? 17 years. And you're like, 17 years? So that means he's 36, 37 in 2 weeks at time of doing this live video. I know brown don't frown. Going back to about 20 years old, I was working in a great job, traveling all over the country, earning great money, earning a great living. And I went on holiday. I went on a boys' holiday. I went out to Greece. I went to the island of Kos. Some of you may know it. The Brits call it Cardamina, the resort. It's actually Cardamina. I was told that by the locals when I rocked up. Don't call it Cardamina. Anyway, I digress. And I went out there on holiday and I had a great time. In fact, I went out with a friend of mine because his girlfriend at the time was working in a bar there and he wanted to visit her. And he said, "You fancy coming along? It'd be a lot of fun." Little did I know I would become a third wheel to him spending time with his girlfriend, and I'd be tagging along with him on the first few days. And it kind of felt a bit weird, obviously. And so the other bar workers that my friend's girlfriend at the time was working with kind of took me under their wing and invited me to all the worker underground parties that were happening that the tourists weren't allowed to. And I had a blast right over this week. I got home after this holiday, and for 4 weeks after, I was miserable. And all I wanted to do was go back. But you see, the problem was I had this great job that was paying an incredible living that I could never have possibly dreamed that at age 20 I'd have had. That there was this burning desire inside of me that said, I want to go back to Greece. Like, I want to go back and I want to work out there. Like, I want to be one of them. And I remember talking about it with friends and talking about it with family, and that most people were all like, "You're mad, like you can't leave your job, that's stupid. Go to Greece next summer." But there's something inside me that said, I don't know if that opportunity I don't know if I want that next summer. I want it now. Anyway, to cut a very long story short, I made a big, brave, bold decision. I told my boss, I said, I'm going to leave. I want to go and do this trip to Greece and work out there for the summer. And I remember, I'll never forget, he said to me, Dave Wright, hey Dave, if you're watching, I'll never forget, he said, I think you're stupid because you're giving up this incredible job to go and work and earn 15 euros a night in a bar. I think you're stupid, but I admire your bravery. I admire that you're willing to go for something that you really want. I admire, he said, that you're willing to get out of your comfort zone. I can't promise you that there will be a job here for when you get back, but I do admire your courage. So I want to share with you And by the way, I had a blast. I was out there for 3 months, I had a great time. And to this day, 17 years later, I do not regret that. It was one of the best experiences of my entire life. And in fact, if I hadn't done that, I probably wouldn't have traveled the world the way that I have. You know, Central America, South America, Asia, North America, parts of Europe, amazing parts of Europe. Probably that gave me the kind of, if it was a shot in the arm, that gave me the travel bug. And I'm now blessed that I've traveled some incredible countries. And I don't think that may have happened had I not had that experience in Greece. So I want to share with you, if you're in that position where you're like, oh, you know, would I give up a great job? You know, sometimes I was earning, you know, £1,000, £2,000, £3,000 a week to go and earn €15 a night in a bar. I want to share with you 3 things that I think you want to assess if you're thinking about another opportunity. You're thinking about something that is out of your comfort zone, but you're scared, right? So I want to share with you 3 things that I weighed up back then, looking back, that I think it's worth you thinking about now if you are in your comfort zone and you know that you want to get out of it, because you know that every great thing in your life that you ever want to achieve that you haven't achieved yet is outside of your comfort zone. So I'm going to share with you 3 things that are really simple, really common sense, that will help you make that decision to get out. So number 1, you've got to weigh up the economic cost. So for me, the economic cost was I was giving up a pretty great living, and I was willing to give that up. And you've got to really weigh up whether you can afford to do that. Now, I was 20 years old, no responsibilities, pre-Sati, pre-Sage, pre-house, pre-bills, pre-car lease. Like, I didn't have any responsibilities, I just had myself. So you've got to weigh up the economic cost. Maybe you want to start a business and you have a job and a mortgage to pay. Maybe what you should do is stay in that job and maybe hustle that business on the evenings, on the weekends, to the point where you're able to maybe go part-time in your job because your incomes combined bring up to what you're earning in your salary, and then maybe eventually you're going to get to the point where you're able to do that business full-time. That's the first thing. So you need to weigh up the economic cost. Like, what's it going to cost you economically? You're like, Miles, I can't just leave and go to work in a bar in Greece. I've got kids. Yeah, you're right. That would be a stupid move, but maybe there's a way that you can make your dream happen. It's just going to require you to kind of do the thing that you don't maybe really want to do a little bit longer while you work on your thing on the side. Next, you've got to work out what I call the growth cost. What that ultimately means is you want to ask yourself a couple of questions. If you take this opportunity, if you take this leap of faith out of your comfort zone, what is it going to cost you? You know, in terms of time, energy, effort, money, what's it going to cost you? Maybe you want to start a business. What's it going to cost you to do that? You also want to work out, what will it cost you if you don't? Right, so I kind of thought about this opportunity in Greece, and I thought, if I don't take this opportunity, what's it going to cost me? It's going to cost me growth. Like, I want that experience. I want that on my deathbed. I want to say that I didn't sell out for money. Like, I want to say that at some point I went for a dream that I had no idea whether it would work out. And in fact, financially, it was a stupid decision. But you've got to work out what's more important to you. Is it your comfort zone or is it growth? And I'm here to tell you, the great life, always go for growth, right? Ultimately, the fastest way to get what you really want in life is to grow more. Tony Robbins says, you know, progress equals happiness. You know, so even if you're not, he says, even if you're not where you want to be yet, but you're making progress and you're on the road, you're going to love whatever you're doing. So think about the growth cost. Next, think about the spirit cost. What that ultimately means is, what's it going to cost you spiritually if you don't go for this opportunity? You know, again, going back to what I said there about regrets and end of life, I looked ahead and I thought, if I don't do this, what is it going to cost me emotionally if at the age of 20 with no responsibility, I don't have the courage and the confidence to go for something I really want? If at age 20 I can't swing for the fences, then when I do have responsibilities and I have a wife and children, then how can I claim that I'm all of a sudden going to have the balls to do it then? And it's funny because there's things that are happening now that I'm taking risks on that I think maybe I wouldn't have taken risks on had I not thought about what would be the spirit cost if I didn't do that back then. So that's it. 3 simple ways to get you out of your comfort zone. The moral of the story for me, always go for growth. The life that you want, the dreams, everything that you want that you don't yet have, all happens outside of your comfort zone. So if right now in your life you're comfortable, you need to consider this. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, please hit like and share. Please share the video, tag people in it, and I'll see you next time. Miles More Motivation, over and out. Goodbye.